Today's voiceover talent is more than just a pretty voice. Today's voiceover talent has to be a boss, a VO boss. Set yourself up with business owner strategies and success with your host, Anne Ganguzza, along with some of the strongest voices in our industry. Rock your business like a boss, a VO boss.
Hey guys, before we get started on today's episode, we want to share some boss solutions and some of the ways you can have more boss in your life.
Oh, come on. You can never have too much boss, my little entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs. I love that. Did you think of that all by yourself?
No, not at all. No, I kind of borrowed that. It's okay. So many moons ago, I wrote a little publication by the name of How to Set Up and Maintain a Better Voiceover Business. This is long before we had combined our boss powers, Miss Ganguzza. Mm-hmm. And this is a book that I'm super passionate about. I have been publishing it for many years. I update it very regularly, so I'm always making sure the content is current and relevant for you guys. And it is an absolute must, not only for the business basics of voiceover and to help kind of get your boss butt in gear, especially if the business side of our world has always been a little bit of a strain for you, but also it's going to help you with your marketing and branding and helping you to develop your own personal brand in voiceover.
Find out more by going to voboss.com and then click on that shop tab.
All right, now on to today's episode.
Welcome, everybody, to the VO Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Anne Ganguzza, along with my amazing boss bestie, Gabby Distico. Hey, Gabby.
Hey.
Hey.
What's up? Hey. Hey, girl. Hey.
How you doing?
Yeah, and so you are actually hearing our special guest today, who has been incredibly difficult to actually track down, because every time we ask her to come on the show, she ends up booking a gig, and let me tell you, she is a boss like no other. Laila Berzins. Welcome, Laila, to the show. Thanks so much for being here, finally.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. Woo!
Oh, gosh.
I love how you introed her by going, she's been incredibly difficult.
I know. I'm just incredibly difficult.
Was that a Freudian slip? Was that a Freudian
slip?
We're looking for somebody that's incredibly difficult.
There you
super
go.
high ego, just kind of a diva, walks in, wants her Evian water, green M&Ms only.
Laila, I've tracked you for a long time, actually. I've known Laila for...
It's been at least 5 years. I moved out here 5 years ago. At least 5 years ago.
At least. And I have seen you just propel, into the stratosphere. And you are just so darn talented. So I think if you could just kind of tell us a little bit about your journey into voiceover and what got you going in that direction.
Sure. I moved out here about 5 years ago. It was something I'd always wanted to do, but I didn't even have any way of getting out here initially. I was working and training pretty regularly with Roy Yokelson of Antland Productions, known in the industry as Uncle Roy, and was helping me with a lot of different things and coaching and demos, and we worked one-on-one. And he worked with one of his director friends. He sent over my animation demo, and then that director sent my demo over to Sarah Sherman at Disney, who then invited me to come in March of 2013 for a general audition at Disney TV Animation. And so when I found out I was going to be doing that, I was like, well, if I'm going to be out in LA for a week, I've got to milk that week for all it's worth. So I scheduled a general audition at Nickelodeon. I went to events at Women in Animation. I had lunch with voice actors like the amazing Dave Fennoy. And I just basically made sure that every single day I was getting my face and my name out there as much as I could and meet and hobnob with all the folks in town, and it was like Lila's California list and a trip, all the things I wanted to do, and it was really exciting and scary. But I remember, I got to kind of show my stuff for Sarah, and then she said, I love your range, and what are your what are your goals? And I said, I would love more than anything to move out here, but I just need to get a foot in the door. Not even a foot, just a pinky toe, and I will be out here with bells on. So she sent my demos over to Heather at Atlas Talent. That was on Monday of the week that I came in. By Wednesday, I had an email from Heather saying, "I'd like to start you on a trial basis out with Atlas." And
Nice.
I kind of was like, my entire life changed in that moment. I was like, "Wow, this is real. This is really happening." So by May, I was heading back to California, and I started living in a house in Sherman Oaks. And I've had a lot of changes since then. I'm now with Vox Talent, and I've been working, very, very grateful to be working regularly in cartoons and games, as well as commercial projects and some corporate narration. So every day is different, but I'm just loving it, and it's nice to know this is my 10th year doing voiceover, and things didn't really start to pick up for those that are, just getting going and wanting to know how long it can take. I feel like it takes 10 years to really master anything, but things didn't start to really start amping up until the 9th year, and when I got with an agent that I felt was the best fit for me. And yeah, that's kind of my story. This is Granny Laila talking to you from the future.
You have, but in addition to all of that, you have a background as a stand-up comic, correct?
I did stand up for about a year.
Okay.
A friend of mine was taking classes, and she recommended that I take these classes. My friend Joanne Lichtenstein, and the idea of the idea of taking stand-up classes scared the bejesus out of me. I'm not going to lie. But I think it was because it scared me so much that I wanted to do it. And it couldn't have come at a better time, because I was going through all sorts of drama in my life, having to move, going through a breakup, just all this chaos. And stand-up gave me the ability to take all the things I was dealing with and make it into something productive, because that's what it is. It's live therapy on stage. And then I had outlets for my parody songs, and yeah, it was absolutely daunting. Yeah.
And then they made The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah, I know.
Based on
Oh my
your
gosh.
story. I'm telling you. That's exactly it, right?
You also, my dear, have a singing background, yes? Or is that just more like a
Yes.
hobby that you learned how to make money with? How did that happen?
Lila has an amazing voice.
No, I know.
Love
I've
it.
heard you sing. I've actually
Beautiful.
heard you at some of the conferences doing some karaoke.
Yeah.
Karaoke. As you do.
Karaoke.
Karaoke.
Karaoke. Oh, I've been singing. My joke is I've been singing since I came out of the womb. I just love singing. I was like, here I am. It's a womb with a view. I got things to do. I was born 5 weeks early because I've got ADD and I don't have time to wait to be born. So yeah, I was like, I don't have time. I got things to do. But yeah, no, I've been in. I started in chorus. I was in professional choruses from elementary school on, inter-elementary, the Connecticut Children's Chorus. We got to sing in Carnegie Hall when I was 12, which was an incredible experience.
nice.
I got to be in I was always in chorus because it was just such a great outlet, and we sang very dorky songs.
Yes,
and,
I love
and
chorus.
learned. And that was where you master your doodling as well when you're in
Absolutely.
between. But yeah, I did all different choruses, and then in high school,
All county,
I
all
was in,
state.
acapella groups.
Yep.
And then in college, I was in an acapella group called A Minor, which originally stood for Asian minorities because it was an all Asian group, and then we became one of the first co-ed acapella groups at UConn, the University of Connecticut. And it was great because we get to sing at the Asian American Cultural Center for food, which is, how great is that?
Really?
Right on.
And then I went in the Hartford Chorale, which was after I graduated college. In the year I joined the Hartford Chorale, the chorale had years ago been invited by the Chinese government to sing, and we were being invited back for the 2008 Pre-Olympic Cultural Festival. So that was an incredible
Oh, cool.
opportunity to sing in China. We got to sing Mandarin songs, Beethoven's Ninth, and getting to sing traditional Mandarin, like a traditional Mandarin lullaby called Dahai. These you'd see elderly women crying when we would sing it. Everywhere we would go, we would sing it, and people would join in. And that was a really incredible experience. And then since then, I have a bunch of unfinished original songs that I'm trying to finish, and I have a bunch of parody songs, some of which are finished and some of which are not.
So, Laila, tell us a little bit about what makes up a day for you, a day in the life of Laila Boss.
Well, Laila Boss.
Laila
Welcome
Boss.
to Laila Boss. I'm going to eat breakfast like a boss.
There you go.
Every morning, wake up and say, I am the boss, and I shall do the bossy things. And so it was written.
Can you just follow me around for a day and
Just sing.
do
Just
like
follow us and
everything?
sing,
Just
please.
yeah.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah. No, I used to kind of spread myself too thin because when I first got out here, there was just so many things I wanted to do. Now I've been basically hyper-focusing. So my typical day now is I have 11 agents, so that keeps me very busy with auditions throughout the day. Then I'll have jobs that are either from my home studio or that I go into the studio for. And between that, I try to 1 to 2 hours a day, if I'm lucky, work on my email marketing. And I usually end up doing it in the evening and scheduling my emails to go out the next morning between 10 to 12. So it's a whole bunch of juggling. But that's the primary thing. And then in the evening, I go to networking events. I'm a theateraholic, so I'm always going to theater shows. Go to stand-up from time to time. And I'm now... The one other main side activity is that I'm working on creating a kind of Saturday Night Live style radio show podcast with a live orchestra, and that's just in baby stages. We're actually having a meeting to go over some of the...
Did you say with an orchestra?
Yes, with an orchestra.
That's a really cool idea.
Well, she just won up the hell out of our podcast.
Really.
My God, we don't have an
play,
orchestra. Jeez,
I can play some iTunes in the background here, and
I'll get my tambourine and
and we can sing.
Anybody have a triangle?
Gosh.
We
need more cowbell.
Cowbell.
Boom,
We
boom,
want
boom,
cowbell.
boom.
more cowbell.
Cowbell solo.
So, Laila, one of the things that I noticed too about you is that you are very active on social media, and I think what's really cool is I kind of track what you're doing and where you're working, because you're doing a lot of posting from the studios where you're at, and so I wanted to make a comment about that, but I also wanted to say that you do quite a bit of work in LA studios. Correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
So what percentage of your work is done, at home studio versus going out to studios?
It's almost 50-50. Sometimes it's 60-40, with 60 being at home and 40. But lately, twice a month at a studio in Burbank. And then some weeks I'll be, at 2 or 3 studios outside of my booth. And other weeks I'm at home for the primary portion of the week. So I would say maybe 60-40, 50-50, sometimes 70-30, depending on the month.
I too keep tabs on you on the Book of Face.
And the Book of Face. Let
yes,
us all read a passage from the Book of Face. Maria is showing her cat. I love her cat.
Hey, cats, there's lots of good things about cats.
Oh, yes, I follow your studio cats.
There you go.
We all worship at the shrine of Kitty. Take that as you may. There was a double entendre in there somewhere, I'm sure. Whatever. So here's what I find fascinating about what you have done and your successes, and why I think you a boss, lady. You have managed to, as an incredibly creative individual, give basically the voices in your head jobs. And you have, transcended this idea of the artist being, sporadic and scattered and all of those negative stereotypes, and you have channeled it, you have focused. What can you tell folks about that? Because it's not the easiest process, I know.
It is not, and I've struggled with being scatterbrained and also just struggling with self-doubt for many years. As a creative, you're most likely a people pleaser. You want to get the job right, and it's hard to get out of your head. And there's a couple of things that really started to help me with that, other than having outlets like the stand-up and creative writing, was meditation. I started using the Insight Timer app. It's a free app for your phone, and I use that pretty much every night, and sometimes in the morning as well. And after I've been doing it for about 6 months now, and it really does change your neural pathway. So after a while, you're just in a more positive space. I feel like everything that we do is about our energy and how we put it, how we put it forward. If we're in a good, positive headspace. So in the past, I was always like, oh, I don't know. Did I do all right? And now no matter what, no matter how I feel, I just kept telling myself, even if I wasn't sure, I'd say, to myself, sorry guys, I'm going to book it. Or that was a great job you just did. Or just give myself pep talks so that I stay in a good headspace. I believe that the more you align your energy with what you want, the more you become a magnet for the things that you desire in life. And I found that through meditation, it's actually starting to come true. I'm writing vision boards as to what I want, and I'm writing the things and visualizing the things as if they've already happened, including my income goals and things like that. And for 2 months, this is the second month in a row that I wrote down what I wanted to make, and it came true. And that's never happened in 10 years of voiceover. So there's got to be something to say. There's got to be something to say about writing down what you want, seeing it in front of you every single day, and being like, yes. Yeah. Yes. And, even if you're not sure, just having faith in yourself.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, I can totally attest to the vision, writing, having the vision board and writing down the goals. And it's funny because when it works, you're like, oh, gosh, I should have been doing this I know years ago.
Like
what was wrong with me?
Magic.
I think what it does is it really creates a focus for you. And I've actually seen, Laila, I've seen that progress. I've seen that progression through the years with what's happening to you. You're kind of exploding right now. Very successful, and I'm commending you on sharing that, and very grateful that you're sharing that with us. I think it's going to be super helpful for our listeners.
I agree. Just don't explode on the microphone. That could get messy.
Ow!
That could be messy. That could be messy. So, would it be horrible? All right, would it be horrible for me to ask you, Laila, if you could actually give us a little bit of rap, because you're a really good songstress / rapper. I heard you rapping at our holiday event, which was about the food.
When I was doing sweet potato, marshmallow pie. That sweet potato, marshmallow pie. It was a Prince song going that don't have to be rich.
It was.
I love that whatever's in your head just comes out. It's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. I think it's a great way to be, and I think that more people could learn from that kind of fearlessness.
Yeah,
because that's what that is. I mean, I get what you're saying about that. That internal struggle, and we are our own worst critics. But man, your lack of filter makes you an absolute unique and a treasure. Honestly.
Oh, honey. Oh, I can't say it, but I'm blushing.
How can people get in touch with you, learn more about you, ask you questions if they have it? Our listeners love to connect with folks whose careers resonate with them, and of course, people who share a similar genre of voiceover.
Thanks for getting me off the hook on that rap thing. There's a couple different ways. There's my website. My website actually has all of my social media contact info. So if all else fails, you can go to LailaBerzins.com. That's Laila. B like boy, E-R-Z like zebra, I-N like Nancy, S like Sam. LailaBerzins.com. I've only had to say that a million times to telemarketers. It's LailaBerzins.com. On Twitter, you can find me at lberzins_voices. On Instagram, LailaB_voiceovers. On Facebook, it's just Laila Berzins Voiceovers. And LinkedIn, also just Laila Berzins. And YouTube, Laila Berzins Voiceovers. And Vimeo, where I post all my new projects, is vimeo.com / I think, VO Ear Candy.
All right. Wow.
Nice.
A little ear candy for you,
so
honey.
If people can't get in touch with you, I think you are available
in
a multitude of ways. I love it. Well, thank you.
If people can't get a hold of her, they don't own a computer, which means they're not listening to this podcast.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Well, Laila, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. It's been amazing, and just all the best. We're just going to continue to watch you grow and explode. Not over the microphone, though.
No, not on the mic. This was an absolute blast. I'm so glad that we got to do this. I've been really looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Us too. Thank you so much for taking the time.
We're going to give a big shout out to our sponsor, IPDTL.com, for our quality connection and recording, you too can record like a boss. And find out more at ipdtl.com.
Much like Laila, you can find us all over the place. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher. Go to the website, voboss.com.
That's right, where you can get exclusive content and offers. You guys have a wonderful week. Kick butt, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.
We're here with Anne Ganguzza and my friend Gabby. We're talking about VO. It's not too shabby, talking VOBOSS life. We're going through all that pain and strife so we can reach the top, the VO top. You know we're gonna go until we can't stop, till we reach that silver screen. We'll be on top, and you know what I mean. We're talking VOBOSS life. Yeah, girl. You know what I mean.
That was amazing. That was great. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yay!
Join us next week for another edition of VO Boss with your hosts, Anne Ganguzza and Gabby Nisterko. All rights reserved. Anne Ganguzza voice talent in association with 3 Moon Media. Redistribution with permission. Coast-to-coast connectivity via IPDTL.